Hey, and welcome back to the Motherhood Unplugged podcast. I'm your host, Tatiana Karanja, and I have Dr. Carol here with me today. Before we dive in, I'd like to thank Ashley Furniture Home Store for sponsoring this podcast. Hi, Dr. Carol.
Hi, Tats.
How are you?
I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a little bit nervous about today's session, but I think everyone will understand why in a little bit. Before we begin, maybe we can just introduce yourself a little bit and take it from there.
Okay. It's first of all, congrats. This is amazing. I'm so excited about your podcast.
Thank you so much.
I think a lot of moms out there will resonate with the authenticity that comes through even in your other spaces.
I really hope so.
Yeah. So my name is Dr. Carol. I am a therapist and also a parent coach.
Yeah.
The last few years I've focused on the parent coach aspect of my practice. And so I do work with parents going through different seasons, the different phases of their parenting journey. I also am the founder of Stawi Camp for Wellbeing, where we've created a space for families to thrive. Yeah. All kinds of families to thrive as they work through whatever it is they need to work through.
Amazing.
And ultimately, my desire is that children thrive, and for children to thrive, parents have to be okay.
Amen.
So I focus on, that's why I focus on the coaching of parents.
Yeah, which is actually where we met. So I was working with Dr. Carol all of last year almost. And I think one of the most amazing things was Dr. Carol used to make time for me and accommodate me at 4:30 in the morning, which is when we had our parent coaching sessions, because I can't remember what was going on, but there was just so much in life.
Right.
And that was the time that I was awake and, productive. And it was so lovely. You accommodated me at that time, and we really went through like a number of issues that I was having, and you really held my hand through parenting the entire year. And I remember I had just given birth. I had just given birth, and I was going through like mom rage, which you really helped me get through. And then I remember struggling with, how to discipline my kids and
separation anxiety.
Exactly, when my kids were not able to go to school. And then even struggling between trying to show up the best way I can for my kids, and then also not being like this mom that's just shouting at my kids all the time. And we've been through a lot.
We did. And you did an amazing job. I mean, I always applaud anyone who seeks parent coaching support, because it's not every parent who sits back and is like, I think I need support here. So for me, I usually find that as half the journey. Just by reaching out, you've conquered half the journey. Then the rest becomes, of course, it's still a lot of work, but
you're in the mind space to accept it, right?
Exactly.
I think I actually didn't even know parent coaching existed. So I don't even remember how. I was at a panel, and Pinky had mentioned something like, I actually called Dr. Carol, and I remember I was going through a hard time, and she told me to calm down and it's okay, and she validated me, and I was like, I need her in my life, because right now I'm going through some things.
Right.
And
essentially, really, that's what a parent coach does, or at least, every parent coach has a different style of working. But my style is, first of all, let's breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Yes, and just let's calm down first, because as long as we are agitated in a space of anxiety, then there's a lot of noise going on. And then everything that's happening around you, you're hearing it through the lens of the noise that's going on with you. So breathing in and out is a really fundamental aspect of the work that I do.
Amazing. And I remember even just essentially at the beginning, we started with how to even connect with kids, and you gave me like some strategies, and it's as simple as spending 10 good quality minutes with your kids, phone free, distraction free.
Exactly.
And that made such a huge difference in my relationship with my kids at that time. And I just remember like struggling, because I'm a parent of 3 now, separating that attention. And I was like, where do I even begin? And it was just that simple.
When the simpler the better, because we've complicated parenting. There's a lot of information out there. The last time I Googled effective parenting, I got 760-something million results.
Wow.
In less than a second. 0.23 something of a second. And it's there's a lot. So it's very easy to complicate it. And so one of the things, again, as part of breathing in and out, is to keep it simple and to look at what's within, what are your low-hanging fruits. 10 minutes with a child, fully present, that takes you a long way, because our children respond to us better when they feel connected to us.
Yeah. And I remember also on that same breath, connecting with my kids, I remember I was battling a lot because I was saying no a lot. And you had helped me through, you know, our kids also want control of certain situations. So that was also another really helpful thing that we went through, where I learned to kind of let go of some of the situations. And I remember just needing this control because everything in my life was not in control. So I just felt like this was the only thing that I could control. And I was clashing with my kids a lot. And then I let go of some control and let them decide some of the things. And my relationship also started thriving a lot more with them. And I was having a lot less clashes. Because, they felt like they were also contributing to what we were doing and, you know, in control.
Yeah, they do have a need for control just like adults do.
Yeah.
And if we are able to understand that, then we come from a place where we are not, the two terms I like to use is coming alongside your child as opposed to coming at them.
Yeah.
We're always coming at them because we want to fix, because like you're saying, a lot was going on in your life. You needed some sense of control. Yeah. And guess who bears the brunt when we are going through issues?
Our kids.
Our little ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think I also wanted to just touch on what we talked about just before we started. Like, can you talk a little bit about the importance of repairing? Because even for me, you know, that's a concept that I don't think I had from my parents, and I love them. You know, we've discussed all our childhood, whatever. Like, this is nothing, you know, no hate on them, but I don't think I was ever apologized to until my adult life. And that's something that I am really trying to do more and more so with my kids. It's not always easy, as I was telling you. There's sometimes, you know, I'll do something and then I'll say sorry, but then I'm always like, but, you know, I'm sorry, but you were behaving really badly, you know, and I'm trying to let go of that and take ownership of my, you know, what I've done.
Right.
So maybe we can touch a little bit more on, why that's important.
Repairing.
Yeah.
So, first of all, as humans, we're always going to react to our children. Yeah. I know there's a lot of information there. No yelling policy, no this, no shouting, no 2-hour lecture. It's not possible to maintain that throughout. Yeah. Because we are human and because life is happening. Yeah. And so even when it comes to conscious parenting, gentle parenting, positive parenting, whatever term people want to use, people always think it means I have to be on the edge, I have to be always doing the right thing, and woe unto me if I dare yell at my child or mess up. And so again, it's part of breathing in and out is accepting that I will do those things because I'm human and because I'm learning. What we need to understand is that when those things happen, there's always opportunity to repair. Yes. Okay? Yeah. And we're not saying, okay, so let me just act the way I want because anyway I'll repair. But I guess we get the principle that, you know what, in the event that this happens, you actually can have an opportunity to go back when you're calm and when your child is calm. Yeah. So those two have to come together. Yes. Because, and especially with teenagers, you better find them when they're calm. Because if you go trying to repair when they're still heightened, it's not going to go well. Yeah. So it's just to go and let your child know, you know what, mommy was really upset and mommy yelled or mommy said things that she didn't mean. And sometimes even as adults, we do that and that doesn't make it okay. Yeah. So when you said what you said, it made me feel like I wasn't, it made me feel like I wasn't a good enough mom at that time. Yeah. Because you told me, you are so unfair, you're the worst mom in the world, and I came at you, you know, and sometimes that happens. And so, it made me feel like I'm not a good enough mom. And even adults sometimes react to things when that happens. Yeah. And so I just want you to know that it's okay for you to express what it is that you feel about what's going on with us. Not today, but we're going to practice again the way we practiced, how you can do it in a way that is respectful, because the way you said it was not respectful. Yeah. And that triggered mommy to yell at you or to say the things that she said. I should never have said that, however angry I was. Amen. That does not give me permission to be that, this and that. Yeah. And I know that is very strange for those of us who have been raised with, you know, from certain, and again, even for me, not anything against my mom, but it's really just how we've been raised, the society where adults are always right. Yeah. Apologizing is a sign of weakness.
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
Totally. I mean, how do I apologize? And I get that. When I post anything to do with apologizing, I get a lot of messages in my DM like, what are you talking about? How do I even?
Wow.
Yeah. I apologize. How?
Yeah.
And when we think about it, that it's not so much about just apologizing, but about modeling to our children what to do when there is conflict.
Yeah.
You know, then I do that a lot with my son, and I can't tell you how many times he just comes out of nowhere and like, Mom, I'm sorry about this and that. And I'm like, oh, even that you're apologizing? Because I'm like, okay, that one we're gonna let it go. You're a teenager and all, but he's learned to do that as well. So it's not just the repairing for that moment, but it's also what you're modeling to your child. And there's a lot of inner work you need to do to be able to repair.
It's really difficult, and as you're saying, even my daughters will come to me and say, you know what, Mom, I'm really sorry. And for me to have a 7 and a 5-year-old come and take that responsibility is a lot for me. So it really it keeps me going on those situations where I'm just like, I don't want to say so, I really don't, you know. As you're saying, like, it makes you feel like you've lost control, or
and nobody wants to lose control.
Exactly.
And especially not with your children.
Exactly. To tell them I'm wrong, I mean, that's not, we don't do that. So those moments do come for me as well, and I'm seeing the fruits of the work that I've been putting in, which is just so amazing to see, and I'm just so grateful to have kids like that as well.
And I think we should really look at the long term. We are so focused on fixing behavior in the moment and making sure things are working in the moment, because when kids behave well, it makes us feel good. And one of the things we do in parent coaching is to just allow parents to be comfortable with the discomfort of a misbehavior while you are reflecting on it, and you're like, where is this coming from? And I think we talked about that in many spaces when we were saying looking at a child's misbehavior as a skills gap.
Yes, a skills gap.
Yes, for the most part, our children really just need skills. The things that may seem obvious to us, they're not obvious to them. And let us not use this word, when I was your age, I could. I mean, that's a tired old card. We don't use that anymore because it's a very different context. But even if you could do that at your age, I don't know who trained you, but look, your child needs training in how to talk respectfully, in how to treat other people better, in how to transition from a screen to a chore. There's need to be training there. And so what parent coaching does is a lot of that. First of all, helping you understand yourself as a parent. What's going on with me? What's the baggage that I'm carrying that I need to process? What's going on with the child? And I really take time to help parents unpack what's developmentally appropriate. The thing is, what we believed was developmentally appropriate a couple of years ago is no longer what is coming out now, especially with neuroscience telling us there are things that we are expecting of our children that their brains have not yet matured enough to do those things. And therefore our job is to really understand where they are at and how to make sure that we are creating an environment where we are developing those capacities even at a younger age. So understanding yourself, understanding the child, and then making sure you're providing a right environment for a healthy relationship. And then after that, I can give you those tips for discipline, consequence. Those ones come much later. But from a place of understanding, a parent is able to just even make a lot of decisions confidently in their parenting because of understanding themselves and understanding the child.
Well, as we're on this topic of, understanding parent coaching, Dr. Carol and I thought one of the ways in which we can better show you how to understand, or that you can better understand parent coaching, is if we actually have a session right now so you can understand how something like this would work. Would work.
All right. So, you ready?
Well,
I need a sip of water.
I don't know.
Stand and stretch, whatever you need to do.
I just need to breathe. I just need to breathe.
Okay. So tell me.
Okay, so to give some context, because you already know the story, there's a situation that I've dealt with in the past. In fact, this was 2 years ago. And I remember there was a weekend we went away as a family. I went with my 2 kids. I was pregnant at the time. And we went with 2 other moms and their kids. And we went away for the weekend. And my daughter was literally just a bully from the beginning of that weekend to the minute we got home. And I had never seen my daughter behaving like that. And when I tell you, it was uncontrollable. It was just in a way, it was just like, firstly, I was just shocked. I had no idea what to do. I couldn't control her that entire weekend. It just to the point where even the other parent was just like, like, what's going on? It was really, really tough on me during that weekend. And I wasn't really thinking about why it's tough on my daughter, or why was she behaving this way? It was really bad. So we got home and I just asked her, like, what the hell was that? Like, what happened this weekend? And she just said, I am just so angry. Those were her words to me. So if I'm thinking about like where she was in her life at that point, you see, I knew. So where she was in that point, her dad had just left, and not like left as in not in the country. So she has no dad in her life, where she's in a space where she's used to seeing her dad almost all the time. Right. Whether or not, because we were already separated at that time, but she was used to seeing her dad. Now he had just left. So she had spent like maybe a month or so without him. And she used to literally go to bed every night with his picture crying, Sorry. Just like she was just going through a really hard time. And I don't even know what it feels like, because even when my parents split, I had them both in my life. So she suddenly just didn't have a dad. And yeah, she was really sad. I mean, for a child to cry every night at bedtime, like, it was painful to watch that. So I think this weekend she's witnessing all these happy kids. Yeah. And she just, I think this is her way of taking it out on everybody. She was hurting really badly. So anyway, we went through this, we discussed this, we got through it. And, I understood why that happened, and we moved past it. 2 years later now, my daughter, like my daughters are still friends with, the daughters, and they see one of the parents' daughters at the moment, so they see them twice a week. And I remember the first time, like, now that we've arranged these, we're all homeschooling, so they get together for PE. I remember the first time we're arranging this, and we're in the car together, and one of the daughters asks my daughter, that weekend you were really not a nice person. Are you nicer now? And that, like, I just remember that it really affected me, because I was like, I can't believe that somebody would hold it over her head for 2 years. Understandably, they're kids, they have no idea what's going on. But in my head, I also wanted to say, you guys have no idea what she went through or what she was going through. And I think even as a parent, it's really hard to watch your daughter being disliked, especially for something that, like,
she had no control.
Yeah, she had no control over, and that she was in so much pain for. I can't even remember what she said. I think she just brushed it off, and I think it's also something she hasn't dealt with, or I haven't dealt with her. But I just remember feeling so hurt that that's still something that they remember of her, because she's an amazing person. She's so kind and everything, So yeah, it hurt me a lot. Yeah. So I guess that's where I'm at with that right now. Yeah.
Well, clearly it's still really shaking you up.
Yeah.
I wonder what the thoughts are when we just listened to that, and then before you looked at herself, what were your thoughts?
When she asked that question, I was just like, I wanted to defend her so badly, because, but they're children, what am I going to say? And they're asking a question so nicely, having a conversation. I also remember thinking to myself, I have to let my daughter be able to stand up for herself, or, talk about, I have to give my daughter space to deal with that. And if she needs me, I'm here. And I just remember her saying something, like, I am, or I don't know what she said. And then she continued a conversation with something fun, and they were talking and laughing. So, like, it was dealt with. They're really good friends now, and they have fun together. But yeah, for me, I was just like, this is going to be tough, even going into life, thinking that, wanting to explain my kids to everybody, I don't want to see them hurt, and that really hurt me. Yeah.
And I think that's now where the issue is, feeling like you have to protect them all the time, and not being able to not knowing what to do when they are sort of being quote unquote attacked. Like, what do I do in the moment? But you're also saying that she sort of brushed it off and they continued being friends. Did you have an opportunity to talk to her later?
You know, the reason I did, because of our conversations, like I would have not done that. But I did ask her, I was like, so I heard that she asked you, and I asked her very casually, like I didn't want to make a big deal out of it. They had a great day together, and I just was like, yeah, I heard that she asked you, you know, so, you know, how do you feel about it? And she's like, oh no, you know, I can't even remember exactly what she said. I feel like that whole day I just kind of was in my own field. But she also it didn't seem like the biggest deal to her.
Right.
But I know my daughter's very emotional and I know she'll carry it. But I remember telling her that I'm so glad that, you know, they can see now what an amazing girl you are. And I know even at that time, like, I remember you saying that you were so angry, and I remember you were going through a hard time with Dada and everything. So, but it's just, it's nice for me to, I mean, I'm really happy for them to be able to see you like this, because, you know, they can see the girl that you are and you're amazing. So I just remember like affirming her, but I still can't remember exactly what she said.
Yeah, and then in that moment, I think there was a lot going on in your mind, and you just sort of blocked it off. You're like, I don't even want to be part of this conversation. But I think what I'm hearing, first of all, is the fact that you did have a conversation later. You know,
I did.
And it was the intensity of it. It sounds like you're the one who's still feeling it as much. More, because that's what happens. We carry the burden of our children more than they do, because our capacity to see things is more developed than them. And what I keep reminding parents is that as long as you're the stable adult in their lives, you will carry that. You will carry the burdens. But what do you do with that? The whole situation, all the way to the repair part. You know, even that is a repair. There was something broken. It wasn't between the two of you, but there was something that was off. But always creating time to have a conversation helps you gauge where they are at. You say she's emotional and maybe she took it a certain way, but you also say that you told her, I'm glad that you guys are able to be friends and all that. So the whole point here, Tats, is that when we carry things that much emotionally, it sort of blocks the fact that we are still doing a great job with our children. We're still continuing, because you've done work with your daughter before then. An event happened which really, really threw off. And then you actually had a conversation later. So that doesn't take away from the bigger picture, that there was a moment of brokenness, a moment of something that happened. But there's a lot of work you've been doing before, and there's work that you continue to do. So just because it comes out emotionally at that moment doesn't take away from the fact that you are doing the work. And it's amazing how much we undermine ourselves because of a small, and I'm not saying small in terms of minimizing it, but that moment, which is intense, then we undermine the bigger picture of the work that we are already doing. And what's happened is, even when parents come as parent coaches, I mean, for parent coaching, they begin to realize how much they are actually doing that is great. You know, if you stepped back, Tats, and just thought about the journey you have been with her, the fact that she was even able to articulate that she was very angry. And as a result of that, you actually went out to look for ways to help her and to support her. And to know that it's still an ongoing journey. She's, how old is she now?
7.
Yeah, she's 7. You just still have so many more amazing years with her, because that's another thing. When our children are in a space where we feel like they're being attacked, or we're teaching them things and they're not learning, we start thinking, I'm running out of the time. Probably something that went on in your mind right now is, how can I fix it? How can I rescue her? How can I, you know? And that's okay. It's okay. Let that intense moment come, but it's important for you to acknowledge right now, these are the thoughts that are going on in my mind. This is what I really want to do right now. But she's 7 and I have time. And I've been doing a lot of work, and I'll continue to do a lot of work. So breathing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've been
What are you
taking
hearing?
small breaths.
Yeah, what are you hearing?
Honestly, like the whole time what I'm thinking is, because I remember talking about something with my dad, unrelated to this, but related to the fact that no one will be liked all the time. And I remember him saying, I was telling him something with like my full chest of like, I can't believe, and he's like, and so? Like, what do you mean, and so? He's like, yeah, but of course, not everyone's gonna like XYZ all the time, or not everyone's gonna, and I can't wait to be in that space to understand, like, yeah, and okay, this was a bad moment, let's go work through it, we've done what we can, and we move on, you know?
Yeah, and you may never get there. That's another reality.
Really?
Yeah, why? No, because some of these things are personal. It goes with personality. Sometimes it goes with gender.
Yeah.
Okay, and that doesn't mean that you're gonna be falling apart every time something happens. I think just acknowledging that this is how you're wired. This is how you feel things. You know, and you feel things a lot more sensitively. Just by accepting that reduces the intensity of the emotion as you are experiencing it. So aspiring to be the person who says, oh, so what, may not be a very realistic expectation.
Right.
And for some people it comes easy, for some people it doesn't. Really just understanding ourselves and accepting, maybe there's a muscle that needs to be built there, but that may not be what I should aspire to. Yeah.
Unrealistic expectations, actually, you just that's actually one thing that I've also had to let go, and we've worked on that a lot. Unrealistic expectations would make me so frustrated and angry, and like, as you're saying, like that the emotions were so intense because I was setting those unrealistic expectations, and learning to drop that. Learning to drop that was actually such a huge part of our journey together. For me, it made such a huge difference in generally everything, parenting, and then in life as well. So that was definitely something that I learned through this work.
Just really learning to manage those expectations, and it comes from what we see out there. What's the ideal, and we don't know that we are slowly putting on the ideal mom, even the ideal single mom.
And ideal kids. I remember we went through that workshop.
We talked about the ideal kids as well, or the ideal co-parenting relationship, you know, or the ideal actually just family. There is so much pressure to be a certain way. So the ideal child also.
That was hard.
We had to really tear that picture apart and be like, no, this is the child I'm dealing with. And I'm sure you get that more and more as you raise all the three girls, realizing even you might expect one to be like the other, but you know,
so different.
They're so different. So even just putting, learning not to compare them with each other, learning not to compare them with who you were at their age, because parents do that as well. When I was your age,
even like expectations of what they should be interested in, because I know like one of the things that right now is like, I was so sporty growing up, and you know, I think my kids have their things, but they're just not interested in it the way I was. And I don't know why it's been so important for me to be like, oh, come on, we have to get you in all these things, you need to be interested in this, and then learning to accept, actually, okay, they have their own interests, they don't have to grow up the way I grew up. I don't, you know, learning to do that also has been challenging.
You want to replicate your life, the good parts, and then what didn't go right, you want to make sure you're fixing it, you know.
For them,
So we want this picture perfect life, but then they experience what your daughter experienced in the car, and you realize, they're going to experience that in life as well. But the fact that I've been doing the work, and that I am actually having ongoing, not just one conversation after that, just for her to know that we can always unpack stuff when they are hard. That really makes a big difference.
I hope so. Thank you, Dr. Carol. I think I also didn't mention you're a mom of one.
Yes, right? I am. I have a 15, why am I saying 14? He's 15, and he's really, I mean, he's the reason I do what I do. Because he pushed me. He's a strong-willed boy, and I think things were going well until I went through a separation and finally a divorce, and that whole space was really shaken, you know. And so just learning to separate my own pain, my own feelings of rejection with raising a boy, and you're raising girls, and it's a different dynamic. Raising a boy whose father is not in the house is a whole other dynamic, you know. And so I have just laid down my life to look for all kinds of information. My whole journey has really packaged my practice from my journey as well to just find how do we work on ourselves, how do we make sure that we are well, because that's the most important thing. So that when we interact with our kids, they find our cups. One of the conversations we have in our sessions is, what's in your cup? So it's hot and acidic and scalding, it's going to scald your child. And it won't matter what they have done. They'll just look at you, just one look, and it will trigger whatever is inside. So yes, for me it's been a beautiful journey raising him, and yes, having a healthy co-parenting relationship, which has taken time to also build. And I'm an auntie to many, so there's all this, not just blood relatives, but anyone who just says, oh, just send her, I'm sure she'll get sorted out, you know, that African auntie. So, and I've seen a lot of change with the parents that I work with, and especially from a place of just looking at themselves and realizing, I've got this. I didn't realize, but I've got this. But we're always looking out. We're always looking at the ideal. We're always looking at, you know.
Especially with social media.
Exactly. And but you've got it. You just need to strengthen those muscles. You just need to find those things. You just need to continue working on yourself. And your children just benefit. And then also be patient. There is also that space where we want to fix things quickly. You're like, see, we said this. See, we've already been down this road. They are little children. When we talk about the brain, we talk about the fact that the parts of the brain that are in charge of problem solving, thinking through, empathy, being empathetic, you know, all those are the purview of the frontal lobe, the frontal part of the brain, and it's fully mature from age 25. So we want our children to be empathetic and share and do all those things.
By 5,
we are forcing them, not just, we're coming with a lot of anxiety and everything. How about you step back? First of all, model it.
Amen.
First of all, model the empathy, and not just with them, but with the people around you, you know, and all that. And I know one of the questions you've been asking is also, how do we build emotional resilience? You know, in children. It's still part of that. First of all, we need to understand that the part of the brain responsible for emotional resilience as it is, again, fully developed at 25. So if you step back and most basic one, teach through modeling, and then help parents, help the children learn to articulate their emotions. I mean, just kudos to your daughter who was able to say, I'm angry. And that's that's a gem, because you can sit and from a place of holding space for the anger, not why are you angry, or you'll be fine, dismissing it, but just unpacking that and say, what's going on? What is the anger telling you? You know, what words? So helping them put words and even build a story around it, that emotion. What is the anger telling you? What color is it? Is it red? If you were to put 1 to 5, intensity, is it 5? It's conversations like that that help build emotional resilience, and they're able to also be empathic. They'll use those things with other children as well.
I've definitely seen that. I think even hearing your story and knowing that your child is 15, and you were saying during our coaching sessions, sometimes you would say, it's now that I'm seeing some of the things that we worked on when they were a kid, and I hold on to that because I'm like, I might not see this particular thing happening right now, but I know, at some point
it will. And when it happens, you'll be like, whose child is that?
Exactly. Are you the same?
I'm like, oh my goodness, this thing actually works. And I'm sure even now, Tats, with the work that you're doing, you're able to see those moments.
100%.
Right?
I see it all the time, and it really keeps me going. And they might be small, but every time I notice one of those things that, you know, we've been going through this and I've really been working on this, and I see that change, or I see that attitude, or whatever it might be, it makes me feel so validated in what I'm trying to do with the kids.
And it's a lonely journey when you decide to, again, in our sessions, we call it follow your scent. Not punish immediately, not yell, not try to fix the behavior. It's a lonely journey because there's pressure. People want you, they're like, your child is misbehaving, hello, you know, and all that. So it can be a lonely journey. So it really helps to even have a community. I'm so glad again with the Motherhood Unplugged community you're building together, because it's for and that's what we also do at STAWI. We create a space for parents who are conscious and connected and who have children's best interests at heart.
Amen. And then my last question for you. Actually, before that, I just want to, for the single moms out there, I know there is something that you keep telling me, and it's about the well-being of a mom and what a child needs to thrive. So maybe you can just say that for those single moms watching, feeling that maybe they don't have enough, you know, for their children.
I think the first thing is to remember that a child needs one stable adult. I think that's because we can get very lost in the space of this person is not here, and sometimes people are together but they're still not on the same page. So to just remember that you are enough, meaning that, and research is that's what research is telling us. A child needs one stable adult and they will get through everything. So the key word there being stable, right?
One stable adult.
One stable adult, And so again, that's why doing the work on you is very important. And so self-care, you know, self-awareness, building your self-awareness, taking advantage of the little moments, you know, the 10 minutes, the repair, like just focus on the things that actually you're able to do. And remember that if you do them continuously, if you work on yourself, if you develop your self-awareness, sometimes you may need therapy, you may not afford therapy, just having to have a community of like-minded people still helps in healing. We get broken in relationships, but we also get healed in relationships. And so in connecting with others, then you find your healing. But just releasing that fact that it has to be a certain way for my child to be okay is what really keeps us stuck. Because you are enough. So is that the camera? You are enough. Amen. You are enough, just as you are. So just do the work that you need to do and find the support that you need.
Amazing, thank you. And before you go, I'd just like to know, you know, along this parenting journey, if there's anything that you would do differently, or if you have any regrets.
Gosh, you caught me off guard. Let me see. What? No.
Dr.Carol is never off guard. Yes.
No, it's like, what would I do differently? For me, really, I wish I'd started this journey earlier. Yeah, I wish I'd started this journey earlier. And the reason I say that is because before my son, I raised my niece. And I was with her for a while. And I think that because she was in and out and all that, I wasn't a stable adult enough in her life. And if I was more equipped, I would have used that on her. And also now when my son came, because I did a lot of mistakes with my son also, and I just wish I'd started this journey earlier. And having said that, I think also it's from the mistakes that I made that I was able to, I just dropped everything and I went to look for the information that I needed to support my son. Because I think also having a psychology background, I was very quickly able to pick that my son wasn't the issue. I was the issue. And so that came a little later. One of the things I tell parents is that it's never too late. You start this work when your child is 13. Well, it's going to be a little bit harder. You know, like when you're sitting at the back of a plane, it's more bumpy. Or a matatu. It's more bumpy than at the front. It's the same thing, you know, it's going to be a lot more bumpier when you start late. But again, what neuroscience is telling us is that because the brain is malleable, as long as you focus on working on something and become intentional, you will still get the results that commensurate with the work that you're putting in.
Amazing. Because everything is by six, you know, so I'm here like, my God, I failed, you know. As much as I'm doing some things right, of course we're always making mistakes. So it's really, I feel like that's such an amazing thing to say, because it's not just by 6. We have time. We can do it at any.
We have time, and we're not sitting here and saying it's going to be easier later, but we still have time. I mean, we always talk about how much we we look for information when we are older. You say, I'm going for this course, I'm going for this course. You have so much faith in yourself that you'll get it at 35 or whatever age. How much more should you have faith with your child at 12?
Amen. Yes.
As long as you're intentional, you know?
Yeah.
So again, one of the things we release is the window of opportunity. And that's also one of my biggest regrets, is because I really wanted to fix my son by a certain time.
Yeah.
And we talk about parenting like a carpenter, fixing all the time. And boy, I put a lot of anxiety in that boy those initial years.
Yeah.
And I realized again, because my marriage wasn't working, something had to work.
Yeah.
Something, I mean, the world needed to know that, you know what, I'm still, you know, something had to work. Yeah.
I
and
feel
so
that.
again, who do we use to?
Our kids.
Yeah, we use our kids. So yeah, I came upon this information a little later than I should have, but at 15, he really is thriving. Like, for real, he's thriving.
I love that.
Yeah, he's really thriving.
Dr. Carol.
Yeah, and the relationship is really great, and you know, sense of responsibility and all. So there's a lot of hope when we open ourselves to do the work. And maybe just one more thing.
Yes.
Self-compassion.
Yeah.
Can I just talk about self-compassion?
Please do, yeah.
Because again, we are very quick to judge ourselves, especially when we react. And so accepting that we are human and that we will make mistakes. Because a lot of this information now is about not making mistakes. It's about not yelling at your child, not making your child, not traumatizing your child, you know, not making my child, being in a place where my child doesn't have to go for therapy. And I'm like, can we just breathe?
Yeah.
Can we just allow ourselves to make mistakes?
Yeah.
Can we remember that we are human and we are doing the best
that we can?
Can we acknowledge the universality of being human, that human beings make mistakes? Therefore, cultivate the skill of self-compassion, where you're saying, look, I could have done better, but I understand where this was coming from, and it's important for us to go there. This is where I was tired, I was having a bad day, whatever it is. It's important to put a connection to where that would have been coming from, and make a very conscious decision to say, I'm letting this go, and I'm going to do better. And with self-compassion, you're even better able to repair. Because you're not coming to your child with defensiveness. You're coming to your child with,
I'm genuine, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Carol. And just for anyone watching and they want to know where to find you, so it's at Dr. Carol, Dr. Carol Choko on Instagram, and Starry Camp for Wellbeing.
Yes.
On Instagram. So yeah, please do look out for her pages. Obviously, we'll leave that down in the caption below. Just thank you so much for being here with me. You literally walked the journey with me, not only parenting, you've come to all the workshops.
Right.
You were the first person we did Motherhood Unplugged with.
I remember that.
So I'm just so grateful for you to be here again.
I mean, I totally resonate with your authenticity and the way you do things and the way you show up with, I'm here, I'm me, these are the struggles, and we need more and more of that, because that's what people connect with, and that's what brings healing. A lot of healing happens even as you do those sharing. So happy to walk along with you this journey as we keep going, and thank you so much for inviting me here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that episode, and we look forward to having you on the next one. Hey guys, I'm at Ashley Furniture Home Store, and I'm here to check out a few pieces from my home. I'm looking for something child-friendly, pet-friendly, and all around comfy on the pocket. And yeah, I really love the furniture here at Ashley, so why don't you come and have a look around with me?